All right, let's talk some Cowboys, shall we? As Jerry Jones said this on his radio hit earlier this week about the play calling.
Well, we're designing bad plays, or we're designing bad concepts. The facts are that there's some of that, but there's also some of execution. There's some of the talent. I like our talent. I really do like our talent. I like our young talent, but young talent has a few more mistakes associated with it than if you are dealing with a veteran player.
So Jerry Jones says we're designing bad plays. The designer of said plays is none other than Mike McCarthy. Here's what he had to say.
I talk to Jerry all the time. We've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts in bad plays. But I'll go back and check.
So it was one of those, like, if we're real with it, you guys tell me what you heard, because what I just heard and what I know to be true is Jerry Jones just said they have bad plays, bad concepts, and which is calling out his coach, and his coach laughed at the comment. The Cowboys. How's that working out for you? I've never heard such a thing. And again, as it relates to coaching, this is a real thing. You know, my guys know, like, we're not saying anything negative about our players and definitely not saying anything negative about our plays. I can absorb any of the criticism if things don't go well. But, yeah, hey, think about how well that's going to go with me if one of our players like, hey, listen, we lost to St. Norbert's, but it was because we had bad plays and bad concepts. Yeah, that's amazing. That's crazy sound. Not just like Jerry Jones has said stuff like that in the past, but then Mike McCarthy literally laughing. Listen to Mike McCarthy's response.
I talk to Jerry all the time. We've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts in bad plays. But I'll go back and check.
Yikes. This on the heels of a ESPN report that the players hate that the fans are around, always around, and that he's, taking them around. I will point out that's part of the new business of sports, where it's not just about a ticket, it's about an overall experience. And if the experience, brings you into closer contact with the players, then, more people will probably purchase said experience. That said, I mean, that's just, those two sound bites are all you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Jay Stu.
I just thought of this. So there's another piece to this, and I don't think we covered it on the show. I know it was covered last week, maybe earlier this week. Remember, Troy Aikman went on the radio and said this about the receivers.
But I think the routes are terrible. I think they run terrible routes, and I've thought that beyond this year. And I think CeeDee's got to improve in his route running. And as a quarterback, if you're not certain where guys are going to be consistently, it's hard to play the position. And so that's what I see. I see guys lazy coming off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they run. Usually, if they do, it's because they're anticipating they're going to get the football in that play. But if they're not, they don't, and it all ties together.
So that's Troy Aikman put it in on the players. Jerry Jones probably took that personal because he's responsible for the players, and then he turned this into a coaching thing. And then Mike McCarthy basically said, Jerry could say it to my face if he wants to.
It's an all-timer. They put the dis in dysfunction. And look, this is what happens when you lose, is people question it, and the bad programs or bad organizations fall apart. I don't think, there's been lots of people who talk about Jerry Jones and being a GM. He doesn't make the GM calls. He'll negotiate deals. He's kind of the figurehead. But the reality is they have a really good staff. They've had really good players. They have some injuries, and obviously they have some imbalance in terms of their salaries. They've had an offensive line that retired. And that's been replenished. And then defensively, they lost their defensive coordinator, brought in Mike Zimmer. I don't think that's worked. But this is the height of distraction. How many times have we heard from NFL coaches, football coaches in general, about no distractions? Your owner is being a slight distraction, and then your head coach, added to that, did not take away from said distraction. Okay. The good news is they have an easy game this weekend against a desperate 49ers team that is depleted by injury. How have the Niners done against the Cowboys previously? I think you know the answer to that.